Toyota just revolutionized the entire cheap pickup truck segment. Their recently released Toyota Hilux Champ is a Ford Maverick's biggest nightmare, as it offers practicality, durability, and true utility for half of its price. All would not forget the fact that the Hilux Champ is also the world's first modular pickup truck. So without further ado, let's check out how this insane new truck destroys its entire competition, as we announce the show-stopping Toyota Hilux Champ that astounds everyone. Indestructible powertrain and drivetrain. Despite being an extremely affordable vehicle, the Toyota Hilux Champ is a true representative of the Hilux namesake, as it has been made to be as rugged and as reliable as possible. You see, the Hilux part of its name isn't there for show or as a cheap way to gain popularity, as the Hilux Champ shares its platform with the current iteration of the regular Toyota Hilux. This includes both its underpinnings as well as its palette of engines. Starting with the power plant, the Toyota Champ comes with a choice of 3 engines, 2 of which are gasoline and a diesel. The 2 gasoline engines consist of the weaker 2.0-liter inline-4, which pushes out a workable, if not a little anemic, 140 horsepower. The stronger 2.7-liter is noticeably more potent, making it a very respectable 165 horsepower, which is more than enough for the truck's compact design. The 2.4 diesel, while not as powerful as the stronger petrol, offers a whopping 295 pound-feet of torque, making it ideal for hauling stuff, despite the truck being so small. However, Toyota is yet to confirm if the diesel will be making its way to the USA. Still, all these engines are expected to be mated with a 6-speed automatic transmission. When it comes down to the drivetrain and suspension, the Hilux Champ utilizes a simplified version of the Hilux's platform. The Hilux, which remains one of the most dependable vehicles in the world, is very well known for its extremely durable suspension, impeccable off-road capabilities, and a general no-nonsense approach to transportation. The Hilux Champ will share most of these characteristics, except for it being a great off-roader, at least for now, as Toyota is yet to introduce 4-wheel drive. But even though the car will, for now, be rear-wheel drive only, the Champ is still going to be better than all its peers off-road. This is because, unlike virtually every other compact pickup truck, the Champ utilizes a body-on-frame chassis, which allows for much greater torsional stress, allowing it to be a far more durable off-roader. Plus, Toyota has also insinuated that they plan on offering an off-road version, as when the prototype of the Champ was initially shown. Toyota also showed us an off-road styled variation of it. However, the body-on-frame chassis brings another key feature of the Hilux Champ to the table, and that is a truly modular design. One of the key selling points of the all-new Toyota Hilux Champ is its modular design, which has been highly advertised by Toyota. You see, the Hilux Champ has been designed as a do-it-all vehicle, and you'll be able to kit it out the way you want it. Thanks to its body-on-frame chassis, most of the Champ's body segments can be bolted on and off and replaced by completely different ones. As a result, you can turn the Champ into whatever you need it to be. The standard version of the Hilux Champ will come with a regular truck bed, and you'll be able to swap it out for a camper-like cabin, an extended truck bed, a large van-like cargo area, as well as many others. Not to mention that Toyota also showed us a food truck variation of the Hilux Champ, which further shows us that the vehicle itself will be a perfect candidate for all kinds of commercial use. Overall, the Toyota Champ is already a very interesting truck from a conceptual standpoint, and it'll only get better as time goes on and more modifications come into line. A simple yet practical exterior. Honestly, we adore the Hilux Champ and its quirky and boxy design. And yes, we know, it's as aerodynamic as a brick. However, you must give it to Toyota. There's nothing like it on the road. We honestly adore the fact that the exterior of the Hilux Champ has combined a lot of design elements from Toyotas of the past, while also introducing a whole heap of modern technology too. For example, the front of the Champ, which is by far the coolest part of it, seems to be a very elegant nod to the original Land Cruiser that has been combined with modern and very sharp-looking LED lights, making the car look quite a bit retro-modern. Furthermore, the fact that there are acres of unpainted plastics across the exterior of the car further amplifies its no-nonsense character and charm, making it look very intriguing and unique. The bed is also something that adds to its quirky character, as it's very evident that there have been little to no stylistic touches to it. It's just a truck bed, and honestly, we prefer it that way, as we're quite a bit bored by trucks trying to make their beds glamorous instead of utilitarian. It also needs to be noted that there will be an option for both a short and a long wheelbase. The more compact of the two will measure around 108.3 inches, whereas the longer one will be 121.5 inches. This also translates into two different basic bodies, as well as two different standard bed sizes. This translates into a total truck length of either 185 inches or 200 inches, which is on par with the noticeably more expensive Maverick. The only thing that we would have liked more is a crew cab as an option, but as of now, we're limited to a standard cab only. Speaking of the cab itself, you wouldn't be at fault for thinking that the Champ's interior would be as well equipped as a horse carriage. However, you'd be wrong, because the Hilux Champ has an unexpectedly well-equipped interior. We're honestly content and even amazed at how well-equipped the Champ's interior is. Sure, it's no Rolls-Royce, and the quality of the materials is a bit Spartan, but the same thing can be said for the Ford Maverick, and it is a much more expensive truck. First, the Champ can be equipped with an automatic transmission, which at least for now, in a low price range, is just unheard of. And if that wasn't enough, you'll be getting air conditioning, airbags, ABS, and relatively comfortable seats as standard. The interior is also extremely practical, with both small and large cubby spaces all around it, granting you the place to put away numerous trinkets that you might be carrying with you. However, we must point out the elephant in the room here, and that's the fact that the Hilux doesn't come with an infotainment screen. Now, some of us find this lack of an infotainment screen quite refreshing. However, for those of you who are worried that infotainment won't be an option in the US, worry not. If the Hilux Champ comes to the US, it'll be outfitted with a central touchscreen as standard, because our government regulations require road-going vehicles to have them. After all, it is also required that every new car needs a backup camera. However, that brings us to the arguably biggest question of the video, and that is, will the Hilux Champ come to the US market? Well, although the possibility of the truck coming to the US seemed quite grim initially, we're pretty sure that it will come to the US market very soon. However, before it does, Toyota will have to make several changes to it so that it's compliant with a bunch of our regulations. This includes the infotainment screen and camera, and some safety tests. However, Toyota will also have to adapt the vehicle to our market so they offer us an optimal product, or else they'll start losing money. And since the US market is, especially now, extremely uninterested in manual transmissions, we believe that the US version of the truck will not be offered with it. Also, the 2.0-liter i4 is most likely going to be dropped in favor of its older brother, as 140 horsepower for US standards is simply not enough, especially if you take into consideration the fact that the gas mileage isn't drastically different. The diesel might stay though, as its monstrous torque figures might be quite intriguing for those of us who are seeking a true workhorse of a vehicle. As a result, we expect the Hilux Champ to enter the US market no earlier than late 2025 or early 2026. While this sounds disheartening, let us remind you that, despite it being released nearly 3 years ago, Ford Mavericks have only started appearing on the streets in a large number in the past year or so, because Ford failed to truly understand how interested the market was for practical and affordable trucks and transportation. Speaking of affordability, the price of the Toyota Hilux Champ is expected to be very similar to what is now in the rest of the world, which is to say around $12,000 to $13,000. While this might sound far-fetched, especially since the US Champ will have to be noticeably better equipped, Toyota will have to cope with a little less profit per unit on it, as offering the Champ at a price that is close to the Maverick's MSRP would be like making a fire under oneself. Despite being a very interesting and good vehicle, the Hilux Champ is still noticeably less well-rounded than the Maverick, which is why it must remain much cheaper than the Blue Oval's breadwinner if it wants to beat it.